Hi guys, my hair's all wet. I just got out of the tub. Look at this poor hair. Yes, Carolyn. I talked to her, I don't know, a couple hours ago maybe. I'm 2 minutes late, and I said I wasn't going to be late. But yes, I talked to her a couple hours ago. She still, didn't sound good. She's weak. Uh, she said she thinks that it's a lot to do with her anemia. Hi, Alicia, Anna, S. Sparks, Susan, Whisper to Me, Brent, Shelley, Captain Lee. Um, and you guys, I do have that night bot, but it doesn't roam around where you can see it in Carolyn's. I don't know how to do that yet, but it does keep track. It keeps a log of the whole chat. And the top chatter, number one, is Danielle. Once this dries, it'll look a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know. Ugh. Plus, they cut it so weird. I think it's all these colorings. Hi, sour milk. But yeah, her temperature was 99.5. She said, she's not having trouble breathing or anything like that. Hi, Moo, Tracy B, Michael, Linda Gell. Yeah, so said she's just real weak. It's hard for her to stand up. She said it's like everything's just going through her bones. Hi, Lori Colley. What else did she say? Um, she thinks a lot of it's to do with the anemia and that time of the month, because believe it or not, she still does have that time of the month. And that gets harder, the older you get. Not that you're old, Carolyn. I'm just saying, though, that it's a lot harder on you. She'll get that infusion in the morning. She said she goes at 7:30 in the morning. I bet that'll help her quite a bit. And let's see, she still had, Jimmy said she had 4 of the steroids today, and she still had 3 more to go. I guess maybe that's steroid pills. I remember they had given me those before. They tasted horrible, great big old steroid pills. I don't know if she has the same. And then some kind of a pain medicine that something was supposed to help with pain, but it was like a strong ibuprofen or something. Not a narcotic or anything, I guess. Yeah, she's home. Yeah. And yeah, he said, or she said, she wasn't going to be going to the hospital unless she got, worse. She would go to the ER. So yeah, she wasn't sounding well. Well, you guys know, you were listening all day to her. Hi, honey. I slept until I don't know what time it was, and she was still on though when I woke up. And I think she was on for maybe an hour or so, and then she went off, shut off or whatever. And that was about it. We only spoke maybe 10 minutes or so. But yeah, feel bad for her. And I was just going to do some reading. Did any of you see that I got an apology from NewsTubers? I put the video on my channel just a few minutes ago. I was pretty excited. I think some of this is, see, I'm obsessed. I think a lot of this is the gray maybe, and it makes it look, see, I mean, that's not bald. That is gray right there, sadly. You saw it, Captain Lee? What'd you think? About time, huh? About time they apologized. Thought it was great. Did they say that in that video last night? About touching my hair. Did they say it in that part that they played? I can't remember if they did or not. If they did, it didn't sound as mean as it did that night. Yeah, that was real, Alicia. Oh, wait, the touching the hair? Yes, they told me that. The apology wasn't. It's just me being silly. And cute kitty kitty. Oh, they did say it? Okay. Not sure. It's like something about doll play. Oh, they haven't went live tonight. It's supposed to be exposing part 2. Is Davita here? She was asking me if I was going to go live. I told Carolyn I was going to go live when we were on the phone, that I was going to do stories. The doll thing. I know. That sure bothers them, doesn't it? That's so funny. Oh, can't wait to get this cut too. Whoever cut it last time, she did not any kind of a style. She did it like a man. And now when I'm combing it, sometimes I'll feel like I'm one of those men who you see with that comb over, and they do it so carefully. And they have like 3 hairs right here, and they just are so careful. That's how I'm starting to feel. Nana May. Angelina Miari. I love Angelina, that name. See, this is what you guys got to look forward to. Hey, this body's been through a lot, though, guys. Okay? What you expect? Jeannie's talking about life. My honey. Land go. So you might get timed out by Nightbot, because it was showing me how it timed out a bunch of people. It timed out Mike. Hi, Debbie. She's about the same. Her fever did go down, Debbie. But she is about the same. She gets an infusion in the morning. Hopefully that's going to help. And she doesn't plan on going to the ER tonight unless something happens. Hi, Nana T. She seems to think it's more her anemia than anything else. Should people just don't understand how hard that anemia is on her. And that time of the month. Yes, yes. I want to show you guys. I think I can show you on my phone, because I still don't know how to do the share screen. Before I start reading, let me show you guys what it says from the stream last night. It was cracking me up. I was laughing. See, I have to put in commands and all that. And Carolyn will help me when she gets done. You know, I mean, when she gets better. Okay. Wow, guys. See, it says messages 1,798. See, look. Chat stats. I'm hoping to get Deborah Vancouver in here, so she can try to be, she likes to be number 1. And look at this. Look who it says top chatter, if you don't believe me. And then it says top commands none, because I don't have that set up. I'm not even sure what that means. And then recent timeouts. Mike, are you here? Look at this. Brent, you're on here. Davita, Lori Colley, Frida Schnell, she's on here. No, I already did my apologies to Jax Nunez. I did. Honey, I did it on Carolyn's channel that night. just like they asked. It's already been done. Were you timed out? That's all it's showing me right here, just the recent ones. Hi, Bree. Thank you, MD. You're used to it, Brent. You got timed out for 5 seconds by posting caps. You said, Callie, Cal, what's up? My creepy tells you mean. Hi, nurse of all trades. Yeah, so you got to watch out because it will do stuff to you. I don't think it will to the mods. Like Whisper to Me, she should be okay. But they don't like these emojis. So dumb. What do they think? That's what they're there. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. I thought, wait a minute. Moo can't get timed out. Let me message Davita. NT, in my opinion, look like a cyber terror. Really, Captain Lee? Well, they felt like it that night. Maybe some people think, yeah, I'm making a big deal out of it, but if you were there that night, trust me, it sounded a lot worse in person for some reason. Davita. She sent me this earlier. She said, are you going let be tonight? I said, huh? And she said, I meant, are you going live tonight? Hi, Jay Quinn. Right, S. Sparks. Oh, and Firefly, we were going to do the human interest, get to know Firefly tonight. Beautifully broken. But she isn't feeling well. She messaged me this morning. And I said, I understand, no big deal. And even if you're having second thoughts or whatever, that's perfectly fine, no rush, no worries. I understand because YouTube is, crazy, or cray as I say, because I know all these cool sayings. I know all of them from my grandkids. Cray, 420. Some other ones, I can't think of them right now. But anyway, no, see, I forgot what I was going to say already. I don't know what I was going to say. Hi, Susie B. Oh, there you are, Davita. Okay. I don't want to wear a wig. I had a wig when I was bald from chemo, and I wore it like once. I went bald. It was a cute wig, and it was almost like my own real hair. But it's just, I don't know. How is MRB? I need a thing scrolling that says her temperature was 99.5 a couple hours ago. And she thinks it's mainly her anemia. She's very weak. She could hardly stand up. She said she thinks it's her anemia more than anything, and it's that time of the month, so it makes it worse. What does VOTFY mean, Ginger Griffith? Hi, Spinning Crosses. Oh, yeah. I had cancer twice, guys. Knock on wood, I don't want it a third time. Breast cancer. And it was way back, okay? I was diagnosed in 2007, and I went through close to 2 years of chemo. Because I remember when I asked the doctor, I said, what is this going to be, 18 months of chemo? the way he described it. And he said, actually, you're going to be longer than that. Plus, I had 35 radiation treatments. And it wasn't the type with hormones, because you can take a pill or something, I think, for that. And it's not the type that's hereditary. She still passed. But yeah, it was November of 2007, I started chemo. And then 2009, I had to have, I don't know what it was, probably a mammogram again. And they had done, by that time, a reduction. And this one I still had. They just took the cancer out and did radiation on it. And then it came back, okay? Oh, yeah, Firefly, duh, that's what it was. Oh, thank you, Whisper to Me. I'm really not, though. You guys are. We all are, right? We all are. Okay, Firefly, I said, don't worry about it, because I started thinking maybe she's having doubts, just because I think she's really cool. When she was on MGL's one night, and I loved the stuff she said. And I just, call her my hero after that, because I love how she got MGL all worked up, and she just sat there. Firefly was so cool, sitting there laughing. And she's like, I know you did this, for attention. That's why you went down there to Florida, or whatever the case. Yeah. Was it the Gabby? I'm not sure what case it was, but, she got all involved in it. And it was just really cool. I was laughing on the couch down at the cottage so hard I had tears coming down. And I thought, wow, this girl is speaking for a lot of us. So that's why I just thought she was cool ever since. But she said she really is sick and she has no problem coming on. She said she's been on other panels before. She's even made a couple of videos. So I don't know. I just thought she'd be fun to talk to. So maybe sometime. What are you waiting on an apology for, Random? Just for NewsTubers Live for acting like a couple of thugs. Yeah, I'm okay. It came back in 2009 when they did the test. I still remember them calling. It was another surgeon, and she said, well, we got your mammogram back, and there is a little problem. Don't worry about it, though. It's 99% curable. I said, what do you mean? Hi, Pug Mama. And she said, well, it's the non-invasive kind. She goes, if you have to have it again, it's the best kind to have. She's like, but we do need to get that out. So I think that was when I said, the heck with it, do away with it, take it off. And they did. And then I had it rebuilt, and I fell on it when it wasn't ready yet. I fell on it all the way down on the ground into a pothole on the 4th of July. Busted it. They took it out. They were going to redo it. And I said, no, I'm done. I don't want to mess with it anymore. So I have a fake one I can put in. And they reduced this one because I was always real large and I hated that. It hurt my back. So I was thrilled to have this one down. But anyway, yeah, I'm all good. I know a lot of you have your own. Let's see. Been watching Scooter for a long time. Just didn't comment all that much. Yeah, I see you in Dorothy's. Miss Beautiful Mess, you're not being mean, are you? Acting like you and Merb do. You want an apology? I don't think we did anything wrong, honey. Did you really listen to that? What did we do so wrong? Come on. Just because maybe you don't like Carolyn and maybe you probably don't like me either. I mean, you could try to be fair about it. Come on. It's not really all that serious. I apologized. Why can't they apologize to me? And to Carolyn. She said, I was trying to muscle them and everything. No. Said I sent horrible emails. No, I did not. They were the ones sending them that night. So, and if you notice, what's her name? Thingamajig? Right in the beginning of that, when she says something about weren't they Scooter sent us, didn't you think Scooter was muscling us? Thingamajig didn't answer to that because she knew. I believe she knew that I was not muscling them. Fever went down to 99.5. She's real weak, hard to stand up. She thinks it's more the anemia than anything else. Wish I could, yeah, Nightbot, why can't you just say that in the chat, Nightbot? I need commands. Let's see, will this do? Kevin, are you here? Davita? Is there anything I can do right here on regular YouTube? I'm not using a streaming thing. I'm going to play my video for any of those, the apology video, okay? Just in case news tubers missed it, because they're probably watching, and they have me blocked. I subscribed to them again last night just so I could comment in there. I guess I'm blocked because nobody's seeing me. Dorothy Slave. Okay. Let's watch me first. Alicia's from Peru. Okay, here we go, guys. My fancy screen sharing.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? That is Mummy Ramblings, also known as Caroline. What you're about to see today is the way Mummy Ramblings, aka Caroline, and Two Scooters manipulate people behind the scenes and also on lives and uploads.
It's me. Yes, that was me talking about Mummy Ramblings and Two Scooters. And this is my apology to both of them. I'm very sorry. Comes straight from my heart. Please forgive me. Scooters, I love you, darling. Did you have anything to say, Thingamajig? Just that I want to say that I'm sorry to Mommy Ramblings and Two Scooters. And happy holidays to you. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. May your every wish be singing. Happy holidays to you. Well, thank you, girls. On behalf of myself, and I'll just throw Mommy Ramblings in there as well. Thank you so much. We accept.
That was nice of them, wasn't it? I thought it was sweet. I enjoyed it. You know? It was very nice of them. They're sweet women. You gotta love them for that. Because when they're wrong, they know it and they admit it. So, and I won't ever tear anybody down for for doing that. They really shouldn't have. Hi, Ronna Mae Bullard, Michelle Oriold, Arhoff. Thanks, Shelley Ellis. So you guys ready to hear stories? So convincing, right? Just a cow and a moon. Oh my gosh, guys. Hey, nurse. I'll message Carolyn, let her know we're live. She might come say hi. Gray, not bald, gray. Let me get a water and we'll get started. Hi, Nana Patty. Hi, Earthbound Spirit. Do you guys want Christmas stories or would you like to try just some regular stories? Carolyn. Carolyn, we'll let you decide, and you don't have to chat. If you want Christmas stories, put a 1. I don't have the Bible stories. If you want regular story, Carolyn, put a 2. I think everybody's wanting Christmas anyway. Now let's stick with Christmas. You only got an hour of sleep, Nana Patty? Why? Yeah, Carolyn's here, guys. She's listening. Her fever went down. She's real weak. She can't hardly stand up. She thinks it's more anemia related. Okay, a 1. Okay. Oh, look how cute her 1 looks. Aw. Her 1 looks so adorable. She'll get that infusion tomorrow. She's taking her medicine. She's relaxing. Hi, Carol Lucy. Katie Cat. Okay, let's get on those Christmas stories. That'll get her in a happier mood. Maybe she'll drift off. I just asked about regular because I got more today that I had ordered. They're all older issues of Good Old Days. And the guy has torn the covers off of a lot of them, but that's okay. Hi, Sandy Star. I don't know if they'll be sad. They usually are. He woke you up to eat. Why'd you stay up? Were you just sitting up watching Carolyn the whole time? Hi, British Chippy. You better get some sleep tonight, Nana Patty. With lupus, you can't be doing this kind of stuff, lady. She's here at High 61. She's right. You made it High 61. There's different stories in here that I've always thought you would like. Okay, let me find some. Dave, can you turn it down just a little bit? Okay, well, let's see. What chapter? I love how they do it, these in chapters. Okay. Okay, this one is from chapter 3. There's a bunch of stories. Spirit of the Season, which we started last night. Okay, Carol Lucy. Lisa Nia. Your sleep schedule, High 61. I'm glad you made it because there's so many stories here that I have said, I'm not going to read this until High 61 comes. Okay, Angels on Earth. Random acts of kindness. In the 1940s, the author, seen working on her family's ranch in California, learned it was more blessed to give than to receive. And here's her picture. Santa wore bobby socks. Christmas 1940 makes me misty-eyed every time I think about it. I was attending high school in California's San Joaquin Valley. The hard times of the era, people depended on one another. We collected food, clothing, bedding, and household items and gave them to the needy. We saved the toys we collected for Christmas. The home economics classes made new dresses for the dolls, while the shop classes turned lumber into trucks, games, and other toys. Oh, Carolyn, while you're here, I have Nightbot now. You just don't see it in the chat like yours. I don't know why, but it does the same thing, number one chatter and all that. And you are on the list, I think, as number 11 or something. Just saying. See, you go out sick and all kinds of things happen. Hi, Muka, 77. And Carolyn, this isn't Two Scooter Chick Channel anymore. It's Granny Ramblings. I think I'm so funny, don't I? Uh-oh. Okay, that's Country Joe. I just have it on alert if you know who goes live. As Christmas approached, we students wrapped the toys and loaded the packages for delivery. As we presented the gifts, we saw joy in many faces, especially those of the children. We had a few more visits to make on Christmas morning. The air was heavy and chilled us to the bone. A rancher offered us his truck for deliveries, and we gratefully accepted. For several hours, we knocked on doors, but as the cold hours passed, our enthusiasm gradually waned. When we finally headed home, someone pointed to a small house down a canal bank. Although there were no electric or telephone lines running to the structure, smoke curled from the chimney. The house stood bleakly in the forlorn terrain that surrounded it. None of us knew who lived there, and we wondered if there were children. We still had a doll, 2 trucks, some small toys, chocolate Santas, and a box of groceries. We decided to make one last visit. We climbed down from the truck, and gathered the gifts. Mud sucked at our boots, slowing our progress. When we knocked on the door, a young woman whose dark hair was tied back with a red ribbon answered it. 3 small children peeked from behind her skirt, a girl of about 2, and boys perhaps 4 and 5 years old. The mother put an arm around the toddler and looked at us questioningly. "Merry Christmas," we chorused as we bent down and handed the gift-wrapped packages to the children and the box of groceries to the mother, whose eyes widened with amazement. She slowly smiled, then quickly said, "Come in." The catch in her voice was sufficient for us to accept her invitation. We removed our boots and stepped inside. I knelt to reach the little girl, and it was then that I looked around the room. The linoleum floor was worn but spotless. Bleached flour sack curtains hung at the windows. Neatly made beds occupied one corner of the room and the kitchen another. A small stove furnished heat. As I turned back to the children, dressed in clean, neatly patched clothes, I noticed several green tree branches, standing upright in a dirt-filled pot. A red cloth circled the base. Can lids and paper angels hung on strings, and a paper star graced the top. Streamers of popcorn completed the tree. The room was silent as the children looked at their mother, wondering if the gifts were really for them. The little girl hugged her doll, and the boys grasped the trucks as they sought an answer. She put her arms around them and said in a choked voice, "I told you Santa Claus would come." From Beverly Joestad, Salem, Oregon. Oh, hi, Big Mama. I like that one. We do care about you. Hi, 61. Hi, Karen H. I liked that one. Did anybody like that one? Sisterly love. These are all pretty short ones here. In 1946, my mother was a widow, caring for 7 children. Yeah, it was a good one, right? They were all under age 16, and times were hard for us. My 2 older brothers had gone to work a few hours a day. for the Sisters of Loretto, so things were looking a little better. There was much talk around our house about being good and Santa watching, but my younger brothers and I knew this year was different. Imagine our surprise when we came home from midnight mass to find treasures under the tree. Mine included a doll that cried and a red reversible raincoat. I was thrilled to see my brothers had received toy cars and warm shirts and boots, and my sister had gotten a vanity set and some new clothes. It was years before I learned the good sisters of Laredo had sent most of our Christmas presents home with my two older brothers. On Christmas morning, we went skating on our pond. A hole had been chopped in the ice so the cows and horses could get water. Of course, I fell through it and, after I was pulled to safety, spent the rest of the day inside warming up. How loved I felt that day, wrapped in a blanket, holding my doll, and watching my new coat steam by the fireplace. I remember rocking away, listening to my mother sing in the kitchen, and thinking that I was very wealthy indeed. From Mary Cecil, New Haven, Kentucky. Friends did not forget them. Um, Friends did not forget them. My father was sent overseas in July 44, and it wasn't long afterwards that we received a telegram saying he was missing in action. A few days later, there was a knock on the door, and we learned he had died at Normandy. My mother became a widow with 3 young children to raise. My brother, age 8, my sister, 3, and me, 6. It looked like Christmas would be a dark time for our family. Mom didn't have money to buy presents and a tree. Then we received an invitation from Jake and Ruth Wise, some friends who farmed near Fernald, Iowa, to spend our Christmas holiday with them. You can imagine how excited we were when we got the news we were going to ride the train from Des Moines to Nevada, Iowa. Christmas morning was an exciting time. There were presents under the tree for us and candy and fruit in our stockings. There was a sumptuous dinner and then an even bigger treat. Snow was plentiful, and Jake had a sleigh and horses to take us on our first sleigh ride. It was great until the horses got loose and ran away. The sleigh tipped over, and I got snow up my coat sleeves. Each Christmas season, I look back at that time and realize how much it now means to me that they would remember a sad widow and her children from Beverly Graber, Jonesboro, Tennessee. I'm not sure if this picture is of them or not. I don't think it is. But still, the Smithson family in the early 40s. Oh, okay, it is. Included the author Wright with siblings Terry and Myrna and their parents, Bob and Helen. Just like Shorty, my old horse. I don't know what you're talking about, but isn't it, Michelle? Reasons to rejoice. After the Christmas program at our little rural schoolhouse, everyone went downstairs to the basement for refreshments. I was serving punch while our 6-year-old daughter, Katrina, was playing with the other children. All of a sudden, I heard the cry of a child. Someone grabbed my arm and said it was my daughter. I ran to her. She had fallen and hit her head on the basement cement floor. Seconds later, she stopped crying. To my horror, I saw she was unconscious. My husband scooped her up, and we ran to the car. The hospital was nearly 35 miles away. Katrina's breathing was very shallow, and her tiny body felt lifeless. It was the longest 40 minutes of our lives. At the hospital, Katrina still wasn't responding. I stood next to her as I lay in bed, now hooked up to IVs and wearing a neck brace. Suddenly, she looked up at me and said, "Mommy?" I burst into tears. The doctors told us that she had a severe concussion but would be okay. Later, we found out that after we left the school, everyone had gathered to pray for Katrina. We know she was in the Lord's hands and he gave her back to us. From Brenda Neasley, Bloomfield, Montana. Oh, here's a picture from the 1950s at the Harold Gerber's home in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Ooh, that picture window. I'm going to have to put this on my channel so I can see if I'm showing it on there, on the screen. Good neighbors. In December 1963, my father told my two sisters and me that he couldn't afford presents that year, not even our traditional treats of chocolates, nuts, and fruit. My mother suffered a stroke that year, the year before, and was constantly going to the hospital, so there was no money for Christmas. On Christmas Eve, we heard a knock on the door. Two ladies came in and gave us new coats, along with some holiday treats. Our neighbor across the street had told her church about our situation, and the people of the congregation wanted to help. I will never forget our kind neighbor and the members of her generous church. From Sheila Dean, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Collected kindness. We were in the 18th month of my husband's layoff, and the money was very tight. Christmas was right around the corner, and we had 3 daughters under the age of 7. I did my best to come up with inexpensive gifts, buying clearance items and making what I could by hand, but it broke my heart to know that the sparkle would not be in the girls' eyes on Christmas morning. We attended church together as a family on Christmas Eve as usual. After the service, we walked back to our car in the parking lot, and everything changed. As we opened the car doors, bags and boxes of gifts began spilling out. The back seat was packed with presents, trinkets, candy, everything a little girl could hope for. And that wasn't all. Back at home, we found an envelope of money taped to the door. Shortly afterward, visitors arrived carrying bags and a handful of more cash. We didn't know it at the time, but the offering that had just been collected at the church had been destined for us. Though it was years ago and our girls were very young, they still talk about the miracle of that Christmas. Vicki Allison, Bessemer, Pennsylvania. And here's a photo away in a manger. This photo of children kneeling before the baby Jesus reminds me of the December of 38 when my family was invited to attend a second grade Christmas pageant. It says Beatrice of Escondido, California. And you'll see I can look over here at my phone and I see that I'm showing it right. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Felicia. Secret gifts. A doctor's patients received a gift they never knew about and one his family would never forget, by John McClendon, Brandon, Missouri. The depression was sapping the life from my dad. You could see the toll in his lined and haggard face, his hollow eyes, the slump of his shoulders, his devotion to the medical needs of our rural county, which was beset with unemployment and hopelessness, gave him little rest. You need to eat and get some rest, William, Mom pleaded. What if you get sick? What will your patients do then? And what about me and the kids? You should see them, Ellen. They have given up hope. Their health is going, along with everything else. After meals, Dad pulled a large, worn ledger from his desk. I think this is going to make one going to get Davida and make her cry. I always try to find hope that somebody's going to get a little tear. Hi, Susie B. He pulled a large, worn ledger from his desk and added the names of the patients he'd seen that day. Once, my sister Jane asked, "Why do you waste time on the ledger, Dad? These people won't pay, and you won't ever ask them." "They can't pay," Dad replied patiently. "Times will get better. Then my patients will come around. They have so little now, and pride and honor are what they value most." Despite Mom's fretting, she couldn't imagine her rock of strength could ever crumble. She was shocked. She was as shocked as the rest of us when Dad died of a coronary after helping a young mother through a difficult delivery. His funeral was the largest our community had ever seen. Mom reached deep for inner strength, calmly accepting the condolences offered by Dad's patients. After the funeral, we sat at the kitchen table. "What will we do?" Jane asked. "We'll make it," Mom answered firmly. "William left a little money, and I have 3 strong children to help." "Be realistic, Mom," Jane said. "What can 2 boys and I do when half the men in the county can't find work?" Gestures of gratitude. My sister looked at the ledger on Dad's desk. "There's our answer. Ask people who are working to pay something on their bills." Mom frowned. "I can't do that. Those who are working can't make ends meet. William wouldn't ask, and neither will I." Unmoved, Jane said, "There are collection agencies that will do it for us." Mom flushed. "I know you're trying to help, but we'll not discuss this any further." A few weeks later, a letter came from an agency offering to collect the unpaid bills for a fee. Jane confessed that she'd contacted the agency. Mom tore up the letter. "Karen Rose, what are you saying? You better be nice." Let's see what that is. Oh, I don't know what that. "Those agencies are run by cold-hearted people," she said. "I don't want them making life miserable for the people Bill loved." She dropped the shreds into the fire, turned to me and said, "Come on, John. We need to find a spot for the garden." As it turned out, we needn't have even worried about a garden. The first ripening of vegetables brought a stream of produce to our door. Dad's patients came with beans, tomatoes, corn, eggs, and butter. When Mom thanked them, they looked down humbly. "He helped us when we needed help," a woman said. "I wish we could do more." A precious secret gift. Summer gave way to fall. The produce changed, but there was no change in quantity. Apples, pears, canned fruit, and late vegetables continued to arrive. Letters from the collection agency kept coming, and went to the firebox. The ledger was put away. As Christmas neared, Mom tried to prepare us for a meager holiday. Again, we failed to gauge the depth of Dad's patience, gratitude. The last cold days of Christmas week, we received gifts of pies, cured hams, fresh beef, cakes, knitted mittens and scarves, even a hand-sewn quilt. Our spirits lifted as we opened boxes of ornaments to decorate a pine tree a neighbor had brought us. On Christmas Eve, we gathered around the fireplace. Mom looked at the presents under the tree and said, "We're having a wonderful Christmas, thanks to the good people who have shared with us. They're gifts from your father, too. He gave himself to the people, and they have returned it to us. That's something we can give, too." She paused and glanced at Jane. "Get the ledger." Mom leafed through the book, reading names in Dad's handwriting. "This will be a secret gift," she said. "You must promise you will never tell anyone." Mom tore the first page from the ledger and threw it into the fire. We watched as the paper burst into flame. Then she nodded to me, and I did the same with the next page. Bob had his turn, then Jane. Page after page, we threw the debts into the fire. Mom was serene as she looked at the charred remains. Her smile radiated enough love to encompass each of us around the fire and all of our friends who would never know about their secret Christmas gift. Hi, Carol Clark. MD again. Great story. Thanks, Kevin. I'm just looking at the chat. Cracking me up. Really, Davita? That one got you? Oh, I'm not done, High 61. You guys are not leaving until I'm done. I'm reading every page here. Okay? Then I have 10 more magazines, probably or more. We're going to just keep reading it until Carolyn's better. Lucy J., you're not leaving. Hi, Anna. Hi, Scott. I do. Okay, you're not leaving. Hi, baby doll. I love you too. Thank you, Michelle. Good, Margot. Penny. Carolyn, if you do go live, you better let us know. Well, I know you'll set it, but I don't think you're going live. Okay, The Good Doctor. The harsh winters in New York City were too much for me in the 1950s, and at the age of 6, I suffered from asthma, followed by bouts of pneumonia. It was then that we met a wonderful country doctor right in the heart of Queens. When I close my eyes, I can still recall Dr. Goldman's kind face, warm eyes, and gentle smile. One day during a blizzard around Christmas, my mother called Dr. Goldman to our home. He appeared in his sturdy old Chevy station wagon with big, cumbersome snow chains on the tires. I peeked out the window just in time to see him trudge through the snowdrifts up to our front door. He examined me and gave me a shot of penicillin, which helped immediately. I thought him an angel. I watched as he checked on each of my 6 siblings, and I thought him patient, Dr. Goldman later complimented my mom on what a good and caring mother she was, and I thought him kind. He charged only $10 for the lengthy house call, and I thought him my hero. In 2008, 50 years after my first asthma attack, I graduated from medical school, inspired by Dr. Goldman's example. My hero's bedside manner had influenced me all through the years I practiced as a registered nurse, and I was determined to follow in his footsteps and become a doctor. During the ceremonies, as I recited the Hippocratic Oath and crossed the stage to receive my diploma, Dr. Goldman's spirit was certainly with me. From Eleanor Lopez, Hudson, Florida. This is that little girl right there that became a doctor because of Dr. Goldman. And here on the bottom, fun was in the bag. For children, her brother and a few whiskered volunteers visited with gifts in 1958. Charlene Hurlia of Seattle, Washington sent the photo. Look at that little boy there. He's like all into what he wants to pick out, like all little kids. And like Carolyn, too. Carolyn, are you still here? Will you put a 1 if you're still listening? Let's see what this notice is. That's Country Joe. Oh, and Carolyn, somebody wants me to give them your address. They have something they want to send you. And is it okay if I give them that address? It's someone that you know, and they're here all the time. I don't want to say. Hi, Lucy J. The book is Reminisce Holiday Memories. Type no, Carolyn. Maybe she fell asleep. Carolyn? I'll wait a while. Come on, Mittens. Go on, baby. Thank you. That would be nice. No, I bought it online. Just got on and looked up vintage magazines. Thank you, Lucy J. I love you too. Help me. Rhonda says, hi, Mittens. Yeah, there's specials, Scott. Are you kidding? Is she live? Are you for real? I thought she was supposed to be at the casino. On her community post, she said she was looking forward to Newstubers Live tonight. She was going to watch from the casino. Isn't that something? You go out and you're waiting to watch a freaking live on YouTube. It's kind of silly. Come on, baby. Watch out now. We're reading, okay? This is important. And we have to keep watching. 77 people here. Better not go down until I'm done. You know what Newstuber said? She said, I'm muscling. I muscled them. Ah, yes, I did. Going home for Christmas. Are you still here, Davita? Come on, Mittens. Come on, baby. Okay, lay down, please. Yeah, she's still here. Come on now, girl. Go on. Be good. Holidays without family. Okay, sit down. Going home for Christmas. Stranded in a blizzard. They were blessed by Good Samaritans by Pamela. Oh, stop. Jamesville, Virginia. Holidays without family would be unimaginable. So, 2 days before Christmas, my husband and I stuffed the Buick with gifts and began the 9-hour trek from Cincinnati, Ohio to York, Pennsylvania. Full of Christmas spirit, we donned the handmade Mr. and Mrs. Claus hats my mother had made and set out. Wonder if this is just a random thought. Carolyn, maybe whenever you talk to Sandy, you could ask her if she ever listens to these stories. Hi, Debbie. Because I don't know, I think she would like a lot of them. She's so, all about family and tradition and everything. So I just hope, I'm always hoping that maybe she listens now and then. 78. Okay, one more person's here. Can't leave, guys. Once you're here, that's it. No, she's right here behind the laptop, Annie. She's laying here. Okay, I'll go back to the story. Full of Christmas spirit, we donned the handmade Mr. and Mrs. Claus hats my mother had made and set out. As night approached, we were crossing the western mountains of Pennsylvania and singing along with Nat King Cole's The Christmas Song when we saw smoke rising from under the hood. We quickly pulled over, shut off the engine, and looked under the hood, then decided it would be best to leave the motor off until we could get help. It was around then that the first snowflake floated down, and we hadn't bothered to check the forecast before leaving. We had no blanket, no candles, no flashlight, and since this was 30 years ago, no cell phone. In what seemed like minutes, there were 3 inches of snow on the ground. The wind began howling, and we saw almost no cars on the road. As darkness descended, we shivered and huddled together in silence. Soon the snowfall was 6 inches deep, the car was covered, and we feared that even if cars did pass, they would think ours was abandoned, since the emergency flashers were buried. As fast as we pushed the snow off, we were covered up again. Getting out of the car seemed even more dangerous than freezing inside. I was delighted to see flashing lights as a state police car rolled up next to us, and the trooper said, "Jump in and warm up." But after only 5 glorious minutes of heat, he apologetically sent us back out into the snow, explaining that the cold was stopping diesel-powered vehicles in the passing lanes, and those were his first priority. The good news was that a tow truck was on its way. After those toasty moments, the Buick seemed even colder, but finally the tow truck appeared. The driver attached our car and we scrambled into the warm cab. Now the question became where to go. It was late, we were in the mountains, and the few motels we passed were filled or closed. Finally, the driver said, "I know a family. The last name is Cavarnas. They live on top of this mountain that you're at. I know that they will offer you their lake house for the night. You will be welcome to spend your Christmas Eve with them." I'm kidding. Oh my God. If she goes live, please let me know. I don't think she will, but See, I got to keep you guys on your toes, see if you're listening. Finally, the driver spied a motel with vacancies. Since it was too dangerous for him to navigate the steep driveway with his truck, he dumped us and our suitcases at the top of the hill and drove off with our car and a promise to contact us on Christmas Eve so we could retrieve our presents. Angelita Batista. No, honey, she's sick. This isn't her time slot. I go anyway, even when she's not sick, I'll go before her. She's very generous like that. Contrary to popular belief. Alicia, please don't harass Karen H. about Scotland. It is a lovely country. Apologize, please. Yes, I hope she feels better soon too, Angelita. It was impossible for us to walk down the hill to the motel, so we sat on our suitcases and slid to the bottom. Luckily for us, the folks at the Laurel Highlands Motel in Donegal absolutely exemplified the Christmas spirit. Normally, they closed up a large portion of their place in winter, but that night they opened every room. We settled into one of the remaining rooms and called the family to let them know we were okay. Okay, Alicia. You guys know, 79. We did have 80 something. Who left? Oh, wait, we have 83. Okay. The point? There was no point. Does she have to have a point? She has a family of ramblers, a community that care very much about her, Angelita. Uh-oh, 2 people are gone. 3. 2 more left. Agenda, sorry, not point. What do you mean agenda? No, she didn't have an agenda. We were just there. I think it made her feel better. For real. Mental support, emotional support. Right, I see you're here. Yes, just there for Carolyn. That's all. We don't have any agenda. She didn't have any agenda. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be sounding rude. It's just, a lot of people come up and say mean things, and I wasn't sure. I'm in the corner with donkey ears. Yeah, right, Michelle? And I think she was really scared, guys. I really do. And I think just having everybody there, I think in her mind, she was, I don't know, I'm just guessing, because it's probably how I would think. She probably thought as long as they're here, everything will be okay. But I don't know, I'm just going by my own thoughts, the crazy stuff I'll think. Right, Susan, it is. Even, she's had the vaccines, but of course. Yes. She sounded better tonight. I mean, she didn't sound stuffed up, like she has been to me, but she just sounded very weak. Right, Michelle. Same thing, yes. Yeah, that's all. We were just there. Steroids kicking in, Henny? Yeah. It's so nice that she has so many people that care, that come in like that, and just stay and stay. Just to, be there for her. Okay, let's see. Luckily for us, the folks at the Laurel Highlands Motel in Donegal absolutely exemplified the Christmas spirit. Normally, they closed up a large portion of their place in winter, but that night they opened every room. We settled into one of the remaining rooms and called the family to tell them we were okay. And I did read that, didn't I? Soon the lobby was crowded with more stranded people, and the owners reopened their restaurant. We all crowded around the lobby television to watch the local news and discovered the wind chill was 40 degrees below zero. I was living proof of that. In a few days, my face peeled as if I had suffered a bad sunburn. Wow, 40-degree below zero wind chill. The next day, the tow truck driver took us back to our car, which couldn't be fixed. In the bitter cold, we started to load the gifts into the tow truck to begin the 20-mile drive to the nearest car rental agency. When the driver removed his gloves to help shift the gifts around, I demanded in my best teacher's voice that he put them back on. He quietly replied, "I just didn't want to mess up the pretty presents." We had another lucky break on Christmas Eve. Despite the brutal weather, we were able to rent the agency's last car, a gorgeous navy blue Cougar, and drive on to be with our family. We were almost speechless with joy. Since we already had our Christmas miracle, no further gifts were required. And here's pictures of them. The author and her husband opened a gift together. They're a lot younger here on this side. And then up here, when they're all older, the Jolly family, the author's sister, her brother-in-law, Kathy, and Richard Kern in mom's hats, right, and the author's parents, J.F. and Gloria Bresler, above foreground, husband Lance in hat, and daughter Donna. Here they are as that young couple. She is a huge blessing to many people, isn't she? Microwave popcorn. Okay, Muka. Uh-oh, we're missing people. Oh, wait, no, we're not. We're up to 90. We were at 91. I wake up. And what about wildlife? Carolyn's been asking about him a lot. She brought all of us together. She is a blessing. Now, if you're, oh gosh, we're going down again. Right, Henny? Carolyn's, because Wake Up always reminds me of wildlife. And Carolyn's always asking about wildlife. And look, guys, I didn't use the colored shampoo for colored hair. So it doesn't make it shine as much, but okay. And I'm going to put my headband in now. Natalia. Because I want to be like you, honey. Because I'm jealous. Hey, easily distracted. I have a black one too, see? Mackenzie Child, Davita. Oh, Henny, wait. Let me grab my vitamins while you're saying that. Hi, Lucy J. Oh, Lucy J. You're going to make me cry. With butter, of course. Let me grab my vitamins, guys. I just bought some at the store tonight. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Okay, come sit up here. Sandy, I don't think you're watching, but on the off chance that you do, look what I'm going to make.
Hello.
I just remembered, Sandy used the Hershey's chocolate, Lex.
Huh?
Sandy Rusek.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I'm just remembering that now. This should still be good.
Hi.
It's showing the different.
Hello. Yep.
It's okay, baby. Wait a minute. Okay, let me put this up. You wouldn't mind folding those towels that are in the dryer, would you?
Yes, I
And
will.
then putting those dog daddies in the dryer.
The what?
The washer has the dog's beds. But I'm going to buy real good vitamins from my daughter, Bonnie. Where you going, Davita? Michelle Oriad says, hi, Lexi.
Hello.
Everybody that's here, if you would just put a number in the chat and Whisper to Me is going to take roll call. No, you don't have to take roll call because I have Nightbot and they keep a record of everybody that chatted. Okay, yeah, just put a number in because then at the end of the night, I can look at that and see who left. We're up to 99. We're up to 100. Hurry up, guys. Even if you're not chatting, just put a number in, any number. I don't care. Oh, gosh, we're down to 2 left. Just that I just want to keep track who sticks around and who doesn't. $104. We should see 104 numbers coming up. Don't worry. You don't have to. Nana Patty, 23. 2 butter cakes. Whisper to Me. You don't have to do anything. I was just kidding. Peridot, Mo Williams, Jackie. Come on, guys. Yes, come on. Keep it going. Raven. Come on, guys. Please. I just want to see at the end of the night who stayed and who left. It's showing 103. Come on. We got to have 103 numbers or even 104 because there was 104. Now we're down to 102. Still here. Yes. Hi, Nana May. Lisa Nia. Couple of new names. And Kim Miller. 104 again. Yes. Hi, Pamela Lynn. Jeffrey. Okay, Karen H. Where is Danielle? She isn't here. 105. Yes. Lucy J. 777. Carolyn, her fever was down when I talked to her a few hours ago. She thinks a lot of this is anemia. And she gets her infusion in the morning. Hopefully she'll start to feel better after that. This is just my way of keeping track. Because, I'm a 66-year-old doxer. Hi, Peg B. Pamela Patrick. Okay, we're at 104 still. You guys are being good. And Cheever. Video real. 105. See, once you come in, the door is locked behind you. You cannot leave until I finish. And I have this whole book to read. And then I have like 10 more magazines. We're going to read every single story. Hi, Peg B. Carol Boyce. Buttercakes, I love that name. Lucy J. Robin Lane. Mo Williams. Ravenkind. And Kim D. And there's Ronna again. And Teresa Lilly. You've been here the whole time. Very good. See, that's how I'm different. That's how I'm a little bit different than Carolyn. I like 109, Captain Lee. I like to boss people. No, that's Isaiah's. And I like to dox them. I'm a 66-year-old and I love to dox people. You did, Marco. I was 2 minutes late. Yep, you're handcuffed. Hi, Carol. Debbie. She's just really weak and everything. Nancy M. And I'm just trying to have fun here. And she is listening. I'm hoping she went to sleep. You do, yes. Just send me your real name and address. Debbie Britt. UW is amazing. Are we, Karen H? Are you a doxer too? 113. Nobody can leave. Nobody. 113 according to mine. But is she home? Yeah. Yeah, she's home. Mm-hmm. Granny Ramblings. Let me take these really quick. 3. I take 3. Somebody said these were good too, huh? 3. Preferably with a meal. I ate a couple hours ago, but this will be fine. And I'll get a good multivitamin from my daughter. Uh-oh. A couple of people left. Another one left. Welcome, one and all. Come on in. Come in to the 66-year-old doxer's room. I have Nightbot. You can't see it. It might time you out. It's nothing personal. Okay, Nancy. Okay. This one's called Hard at Work. No, not a contest. We're reading Christmas memories from all different people that have sent them in. Let me check this notice. Oh, it's still Country Joe. Oh, okay. I see Carolyn gave it to you. Okay. She wanted to make sure she gets that present. She was afraid I'd give you my address, I bet. She thought, oh gosh, Scooter's going to give them all her address instead of mine. As soon as I get sick, she's going live all the time, giving them her address. Send Carolyn's gifts right here. You like this, Natasha? Because we want to be like you, honey. I don't even know why I'm saying that. Okay, what's the Christmas lights? What? Okay, I'll start the video. And you and your daughter did looking at Christmas lights. Last year? Did we? I mean, I know we always did. I didn't know I did a video. 100, holy, wow. Dorothy must have gotten done or something. They're all coming this way. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A couple of you left. If you're here, please, you don't have to chat. Just put a number in the chat so you're registered. I want to have you in my chat log. That way it will be easier for me to look you up and dox you. Please. Hard at work. Christmas suddenly on hold. It was Christmas morning, 1956, on our dairy farm outside of Menomonee, Wisconsin, and I was 7 years old, the youngest of 3 kids. We already had a foot of snow on the ground, and the temperature plummeted below zero overnight. As my dad and brother bundled up to head to the barn, I was just making sure we hadn't read this. As my dad and brother bundled up to head to the barn for the morning milking, Mother went down to the basement to add some more wood to the furnace. I was inquisitively inspecting the brightly wrapped gifts under the tree when our Christmas plans hit a roadblock. Dad came inside to announce that the electric pump that brought water from our well was out. He'd try to fix it, and we would still be able to draw some water, but we would have to conserve as much as possible. Leaving my brother to the milking chores, Dad headed back out with his tools. The pump stood about 20 feet from the back of the house, fully exposed to the icy wind. Soon, Dad came back inside, red-faced from the cold, to say he couldn't repair the pump. Now, my parents wondered if they would even find a repairman on Christmas willing to brave the cold, and would the needed part be available? We'd have enough water for our coffee and to boil potatoes, but we would have to keep dishwashing to a minimum. There was water for washing hands, but not for bathing. That meant no church for us that Christmas day. No self-respecting, no self-respecting farmer who handled barn animals would head to town without a thorough scrubbing. We wouldn't be able to use the toilet either, but there was still the old outhouse in the yard. Although unused for many years, it was functional. So, yes, we could survive for a day, but caring for the animals and milking were another matter entirely. Each milking required 2 huge tubs of water to clean the milkers and milk pails. Every morning, the milkman would come and pump out our milk tank, followed by a thorough cleaning of the tank using more water. Not to mention that 40 head of cattle would require many gallons of drinking water in 24 hours. Dad had to find someone to fix our pump. He tried a few numbers but got no answer. Finally, he reached one and happily reported that a repairman was on his way. As the repairman headed out to the pump, I pressed my nose to the window to track his progress. When I saw him remove his gloves, I rushed to Mother to let her know of this strange development. She explained that he had no choice but to take off his gloves to handle the small parts that were needed to fix the pump, he'd have to work fast before his fingers stiffened in the cold. After fixing the pump, the repairman returned to the house. I remember my dad asking him how much he owed him, and the man replying, $5.60. Not believing his ears, Dad asked him again, "How much?" Apparently, the repairman thought that Dad was challenging the price and explained, "It's 60 cents for the part, and I'd like $5 for my work." Dad said, "Well, you'll have to take more than that for coming out on Christmas." I recall Dad opening his billfold and hesitating. I think he was wondering how much he should give the man to compensate him for his work without making him feel foolish for asking for so little. I believe it was a $20 bill that changed hands that morning. Then Dad asked if he had a hot dinner waiting. The man was a bachelor and said he'd fix himself something once he got home. Dad invited him to stay for dinner, and he gratefully accepted. Mother set a festive holiday table for us, and we were grateful for many blessings, including the pump man who joined us that day. That's from Mary Drake, Freeport, Illinois. Oh gosh, a bunch of people left. Well, I'll know from the chat who did. And Jeever, you're not using that as an excuse, are you? I see you throwing hearts, Brenda D. Berry. Earthbound's still here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, Debbie. Oh, I know. I know who's here and who's not. Number 33 still here. Hi, Isabel. I didn't see you. Teresa Lilly. Carol Clark. Susan's present. Okay. In the St. Nick of time. My dad was a rural mail carrier in Smethport, Pennsylvania for more than 40 years. One Christmas Eve in the late 1940s, he returned to the post office after finishing his route and noticed that a pile of packages had arrived on the afternoon truck. The boxes were addressed to a large family that lived out in Irish Hollow. Dad brought the packages home and called the father of the family, telling him that he could pick them up at our house. With gratitude in his voice, the man told my dad that he had to tell his kids there would be no gifts that Christmas because the parcels hadn't arrived. That is one Christmas Eve I will never forget because it made me so happy to see my father make another family's Christmas merry. And it's from Jerry Clesax, Preble, New York. And here's a little brochure thing from 1954. Wise men still seek him. Moses sought him on a mountain. St. Augustine in his books. Washington at Valley Forge. Albert Schweitzer in the heat of the African jungle. President Eisenhower in his own heart and the hearts of his people. Konrad Adenauer in the Cathedral of Cologne. And one cold night long ago, the wise men found him, an angel singing, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men of good will." And that is Executive Offices, the Conrad Hilton, Chicago, Illinois, around the world, Hilton Hotels, Conrad N. Hilton, President. Wasn't Zsa Zsa Gabor married to him, Davida? Hi, Tracy Claus. We'll see the title there, though, S. Sparks. Wise men still seek him. Remember, this is Christmas. Was Davida at the wedding? Oh, 1:15. We got back up there. Damn it, doll. What the heck? You better stop that now, damn it, doll, and be nice. No, those are mine. Don't throw them here. Just put them in my room, top drawer. Hi, Mary Tackett. Uh, 95. I mean, her temperature was 99.5 a few hours ago. Very weak. She could hardly stand up. She thinks it's more to do with anemia in that time of the month. And she does get her infusion tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. Well, we're going to reform the trolls. They're going to end up loving it here. They're going to leave everybody and they're going to come here. That's my evil plan. In fact, I needed to listen back to you NewsTubers because they said something about I was so excited. Paula Norris, what'd you do to get hidden, girl? Come on, now be nice. So that I believe she was talking to me. She said, yes, that I was so excited about what I call viral videos and that she thinks I'm just all about my channel or something odd like that. Robin Lane. And I got to listen to that re-listen to that because I thought, okay, I can't be excited. Like this was my big plan all along.
Hello.
I had this big old plan, you know.
Garner just woke up.
Oh, baby girl.
She was
There's
all stretched out on your bed when I opened the door.
Robin Lane has a kitty that looks like you. I think it's Robin Lane. Or is it Kubi? Good, Teresa Lily. Kangaroos, what? She is calmer, yes. Dog named Steve, it's QB. QB then. Oh, you do too, huh, nurse? Okay, the joy of giving. 117. If you didn't put a number in chat earlier, please do, just so I have a record of you being here, because I want to be able to look you up and dox you. So I need to have a record, please. Carol Clark. Oh. Okay, this one's the best present of all. This must be the lady writing it. Well, probably not writing it, but maybe it's somebody who's writing about her.
Look at what Garnet's doing.
She's sitting there, got her cigarette, like so many of us did back then. If we were all alive. She loves being on your back. Okay. Best present of all. In the 1940s, I lived with my mother, Edna Mae Metz, above, so that's her mother, in a small duplex on the east side of Huntington, Indiana. My mother worked hard, holding down 2 jobs. One is a winder at a Fort Wayne factory, a winder or a winder, which meant driving 25 miles back and forth 5 days a week.
Really whispered to me?
What?
That's your grandma?
No, she's kidding. Whisper to me, you're joking, right? Your mom's middle name is May? That's a wire factory? You're kidding, right? Whisper to me.
Why are you nervous?
She's not. Well, make it quick, Pamela. Whisper to me. Oh, you got me. See, I like it when somebody gets me. Nana May. My name is Native Docks. I live at 245-6376 Docks Lane, Dock City, USA. Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
Nice. Okay. Back to the story. Which meant driving 25 miles back and forth 5 days a week. Her second job was as a waitress at the La Fontaine Hotel, where she occasionally filled in as desk clerk. Christmas was just around the corner, and the wonder and excitement of the holiday filled my 10-year-old heart with excitement. It was my mother's habit to shop for groceries on Saturday evening. On one occasion, we didn't want to go to her store of choice, which had the best meat products. Instead, we went to Riordan's grocery store, which had the best oranges. It must be Christmas, I thought. Oranges. The few people in the store included a boy my age and a little girl about 6. In those days, kids often ran to the store for their mothers. We selected our groceries, spending lots of time choosing our turkey and carefully examining the oranges for the very best. With our baskets full, we moved to the cash register counter and waited our turn in line. A man who worked for Mr. Warden was clerking that night. I remember him as very thin, grim, and unsmiling. Now it was the children's turn in line at the register. The boy had a quart of milk and a loaf of day-old bread. He said to the clerk, "My mother said I was to have you put this on our bill." The clerk stared down at the boy and girl and said, "Your mother has not paid her bill for 3 weeks. Now you put those things up, go home, and tell her no more groceries until she pays her bill." Suddenly I felt ill and my heart sank. The children were crushed, staring down at the floor, not knowing what to do. I looked up at my mother, and I remember her beautiful face to this day. Her mouth quivered as her eyes changed from gleaming to glaring. There was anger in those eyes. My mother turned to me and told me, "Barbara, we will take our turn now." Then she turned to the boy and girl and said, "Please wait a few minutes, children." She walked over to a counter and chose 2 caps and 2 pairs of mittens. The clerk added up our purchases, and my mother paid the bill in question. She then turned to the grim man and said, "We will never shop here again." Once outside the store, my mother handed over our grocery bags, along with the caps and mittens, to the 2 children. "Merry Christmas," she said to them. Then she took my hand and we headed home. My mother kept my hand in hers as we walked silently for a block or so. It was a cold evening, but I was snug in my early Christmas gifts. A beautiful matching blue wool cap and mittens knit by my mother. Now I knew there would be my own They would be my only presents. No oranges, turkey, or doll, and no watercolors or sled. But what a special gift I received that night. Soon we stopped near a curb under a street light, and my mother looked down at me and asked, "Do you mind, dear?" My heart was full, and I loved her more at that moment than I ever had before. From Barbara Beamer, Huntington, Indiana.
Oh, sweet.
That is sweet. I really like that
Yeah.
one. Oh.
Jen, DeVito.
Davida.
Okay. I'll give her.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Here, I thought Davita'd be crying. She's laughing. Right? Love that one. You look like you were ready to cry. Kind of like a little bit teary-eyed sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah, that even got Lexi a little. Hi, Alley Cattails. That's right.
Or probably because I'm sweaty.
No quiz.
Unless you wanted to make one up.
Lexi, my oldest son. Never done it. Ooh. That sounds nice.
Yeah. Those are cute names for the cats. Luna,
Yes.
Loki, and Lucy.
Hi, Julianne. You're welcome. Don't say thank you because you're not leaving. Alley Cattails, you're here. You made the mistake of coming in. Once you're in here, you can't leave. I have Nightbot. It's a chat log. When I'm done, I'm going to use everyone's names to look you up and dox you. There's my Brian clan. Buffering. Oh, gosh, no.
Put your cellmate number on.
Am I buffering, guys? Hotel California. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Oh,
DeVito.
she is crying. She doing great, Brian Clan. We listening to stories.
Merry Christmas, Pamela Patrick.
Putting her number in. We're going to read more now. You cannot leave once you're here.
You gotta wait till she finishes the whole magazine.
I'm reading the rest of this book. It's not very long. We're on page 65. We only go to 208. Then I have like 10 magazines there.
So we'll be here till like maybe next week.
Oh yeah, I love Dorothy, Tracy.
Alicia.
I will hunt you down. Brian Clan knows that.
Hotel Scooter 4 now.
Okay, spur of the moment charity. Our family had just finished dinner on Christmas Eve, 1942, when my friend Sylvia knocked on our door. Oh, wait, we read this one already. This is the one about the orphanage, remember? They took the presents and that to the little kids. We read that last night. Okay, this one's called Gifts from the Heart. Just love. At Christmas time in 1957, Dad gave each of us $10 to buy presents. I needed to buy gifts for 2 sisters, 2 brothers, Mom, Dad, Grandpa, and Grandma. Hope I didn't read this one. We'll find out in a second. I could make that happen if I went up to the Kresge 5 and Dime on Warren, or maybe Cunningham Drugs on the corner of Warren and Outer Drive. Both were on the east side of Detroit where we lived. I knew the key to getting the best gifts was having my shopping done way before my sister, Judy, 15, and my brother, Ken, 12. I started with Grandpa's gift. I adored my grandfather and wanted so much to give him something he would love. I remembered that he liked chocolate-covered cherries,
Ooh.
which we're going to make. R.J. Dunn miniature cigars and handkerchiefs, either white with an embroidered F for Fred or the red bandana kind that he always had in his pocket while gardening. I decided on the cigars. Maybe Grandpa would teach me how to blow smoke rings, just as he had taught Ken. Things were different back then. We could put that up so she won't do that. Although Grandma might have given Grandpa a good talking to if she learned of it, I thought if I could get Grandpa to actually say he wanted those cigars, it would make my gift even more spectacular. Grandpa, what would you like for Christmas? I asked. Just love, little Mary, said Grandpa. I already love you, Grandpa. So what do you want for Christmas? I continued. Again, he came back with the same answer. Just love. Will you do that in there, please?
Let go of my foot.
You know how us old people get with noises. Yes, I know that, Grandpa, but if you had to choose one thing that you really, really wanted for Christmas, what would that be? I persisted. Just love. Love is all I need, he said. Then Grandpa gave me a big hug and left for home in his two-toned turquoise Buick. Well, no time to waste. I made my way up to Cunningham's and quickly found the holiday two-pack of R.G. Dunn miniature cigars. There were 5 to a package, and they cost just under $1. The alluring red-lipped Edie Adams stood there as a life-size cutout for Muriel cigars, but I would not be swayed from my choice. I plunked my money down, and the lady behind the counter quickly put the cigars in a bag. These are for my grandpa for Christmas, I told her. I guess I felt as though I needed to explain that I would never smoke cigars. Well, at least not without Grandpa. She didn't seem to care, though, and out the door I went. I ran home, eager to tell Judy and Ken that they had been snuffed out by a 10-year-old. Victory was mine. Christmas morning came, and it was wonderful. I heard jingle bells ringing downstairs, and then, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, followed by the slamming of the front door. I remember running down the stairs, only to hear Dad say, as he would each Christmas, "Too bad you just missed Santa Claus." I always wanted to ask why Santa left by the front door rather than the chimney, but the presents under the tree took priority. When Grandma and Grandpa arrived, I was eager to have Grandpa open my gift. "Thank you, little Mary, for the cigars," said Grandpa. "You're welcome, Grandpa. Remember, you said that you wanted just love, but you can't wrap that," I said. "Oh, but you can," said Grandpa. Then he put his arms around me and said, "This is how you wrap love." To this day, whenever I hear anyone ask, "What would you like for Christmas?" I can hear my grandfather saying, "Just love." Wrap it up by hugging someone close to you. It's the best gift of all. It always fits, and the best part is you can always regift it and feel really good in doing so. From the Bryan clan, San Jose, California. Oh no, more people left. Make sure nobody else went live. Here's a picture of them. We already read the story last night of the little boy right there. Here's a couple of short ones about benevolent bosses. $100 handshake. In 1946, after coming home from World War II, I had a job in a lithograph company, but my pay as an apprentice was low. Christmas was near, and my wife had put a doll on layaway for our 3-year-old girl, but we didn't know how we'd pay for it in time. I happened to work on Christmas Eve. Imagine my surprise when the owner of the plant drove up, parked his car, walked over to me, and extended his hand. He wished my family and me a very Merry Christmas and walked away. In my hand, he had placed 5 $20 bills. Our daughter got her doll on Christmas morning, and I have never forgotten my employer for his kindness. That is from Portage, Michigan, which I have been to before. And that is from Henny, the #1 fan. Very good, Henny. I like that. It's about time to skate. In the heart of the Great Depression, when I was 10 years old, Mother and I lived in La Crosse, Wisconsin, where she was working at Autolite. Mother came to me in September 1938. Oh, wait, I think we read this one last night. We did. Never mind. We'll go to Gift Was Heaven Sent. Snow had fallen on our little town of Lonsdale, Rhode Island, and I was standing outside Glancy's drugstore with my dad's shovel in hand. In Glancy's window was an exotic Evening in Paris set. It was just the Christmas gift for my mom in 1945. I'd already shoveled the sidewalks of 3 neighbors, but was far from my goal. Mr. Glancy would never pay to have a path cleared for his customers, but good-natured Mr. Miller next door might. He owned the town's only grocery store and put a lot of people's groceries on the tab. I shoveled his door to the street, then from left to right of his front storefront. This meant that I stopped just before Glancy's unshoveled sidewalk, a fact that Mr. Miller seemed to relish. "What are you going to do with all your money?" Mr. Miller joked. I told him I was going to get my mom the Evening in Paris perfume set in Glancy's window. Mr. Miller just grunted. While he and Mr. Glancy weren't fighting for the same customers, they still had a competitive relationship. After shoveling his sidewalk, I went inside to collect my money. Then Mr. Miller asked if I was interested in taking some groceries to one of his better customers. I put the box on a Miller's sled and trudged through the heavy snow as cold winds blew. The warmth of Miller's store, after trudging across town in the cold, felt good. He handed me the money and asked if I'd like to deliver groceries after school. Sometimes I filled the orders I delivered, but after Mr. Miller checked my math a few times, I was relieved of that duty. I placed boxes and cans of food on the shelves. Some fragrant oranges arrived, and I placed them on display. As the days wore on and Christmas neared, my funds were still not enough for Mom's gift. Then things began to unravel. Occasionally, when filling orders, I'd forget and leave an item off the list. Or I'd struggle so hard trying to get groceries up to second-story apartments that the customers would have to help. Or sometimes I'd arrive late because I'd stop to watch my buddies shooting basketballs in the schoolyard. One afternoon, Mr. Miller told me there were too many complaints. He handed me a $1 bill and patted my shoulder. Christmas was only a few days away. With the money I had, I took the bus to Pawtucket and bought my mother some toilet water from Woolworths. I placed the package under the tree along with the small hand viewer I'd bought my dad for his slides. On Christmas morning, we all opened our gifts, and Mom and Dad thanked me for theirs. Soon there was a knock at the door. We all wondered who would be calling this early in the morning. Mom opened the door, picked up a corrugated box, and brought it into the living room. Inside was a gift-wrapped item, and a note that said, "To Mom from your son Louis." When she opened the gift, there was the Evening in Paris set I had wanted so much for her. She came over to me, and I'll tell you, the scent of oranges on the wrapping paper was overwhelming. From Lou Brierly, Columbia, South Carolina. I wish they still had those, right? I knew you would have, Brian Clan. You always tie in somehow to every subject. I can't wait to tell Carolyn. Oh, really, Davida? Crying again? Oh. They do? They sell Evening in Paris? You know I'm joking, Brian Clan. Carol and I still joke about you in chat when we're talking about different things or showing pictures of stuff. I know, I'm just teasing. I'll always say, you know who used to collect those? And she'll say, oh, I know, the Bryan clan. But then she gave them all away. See, we don't forget. Look at this illustration for that. Let's see. Hostage number 5 checking in. We're back down to 104. I won't, Felicia. Oh, we never forget. Carolyn, are you still here? Carolyn. We have 100. Carolyn, I'll be able to tell by the chat log when you left. Okay, you'll have time. Go to the bathroom, Captain Lee. Day 20. Yes. There's refreshments here, Nana May. There's cookies, coffee, hot chocolate. We got all that. Day 60s. Go ahead, Captain Lee. I appreciate you too, Tracy, but that's not letting you leave from here. Cognac, yes. That story made my eyes tear up. It made me think of my mother. She loved Mary Kay so much. When I was younger, I would always try to get her something from Mary Kay. Miss my mama so much. Aw. That's so sweet. Hot chocolate, coffee, hot tea, wine. Alicia has vodka. That is sweet. And we continue. You barely made it? Okay. If you need them, Lisa, yeah, there's some over in the corner. Davita got them at Walmart on sale. Lisa D brought packs of water for everyone. Here we go. Oh. Okay, we read this before. I know we did. The one with the 3 girls sitting on the fender. Oh, wait, no, I don't think we did. Almost like Home for Christmas. On a troop train going across the country, a homesick wave found the Christmas spirit was alive in Indiana by Idabel Swartz, Seaside, Oregon. And these are pictures of her. Both pictures, all the pictures. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Encheever. I have a bunch of magazines that I bought specifically to do this, so I plan on doing it as long as at least, somebody comes. And once they come, I don't let them out, so they have no choice once they get here. Just don't tell anybody that's never been here, okay? Don't let them know that they can't leave. My sister Mickey and I went to work as telegraphers for the Northern Pacific Railroad in 1943. We ended up in West End, Montana, between Bozeman and Livingston, where we lived in an old converted railroad coach. On Thanksgiving, we cooked dinner for 2 friends who were leaving for military service. About 6 p.m., a blizzard moved in. With the snow came freezing cold. It was so frigid, the thermometer broke. We moved into the bedroom, which had a coal stove, and ate our meals at work. The cold weather lasted until spring. In fact, it wasn't until Easter Sunday that it was warm enough to clear away the dishes from the Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, and I love you guys all. Anyone else feel like Paul and Missouri? Can U.S. Sparks? That would be interesting. We vowed to never again live like that. So when September came around, Mickey and I joined the Waves and departed for boot camp at Hunter College, New York. My sister and I had been inseparable all our lives, but after boot camp, Mickey was assigned to the Medical Corps in Bethesda, Maryland, and I was sent to the 13th Naval District in San Francisco. It turned out that I was the only one from my company going west. But when the bus came to take us to the train, I met Mary Thomas from Missouri, who suffered the same fate. We became friends on the train and called each other Missouri and Montana after our home states. From then on, few knew me by any other name. On Christmas Day, we pulled into Marion, Indiana. It was my first Christmas away from my family, and I was very homesick. I wasn't the only one. The coach was very quiet when we pulled into Marion, and soon a lot of the Waves were reminiscing about holidays gone by. Then I looked out the window and saw a group of women carrying baskets. They came on the train and gave each of us a present and something to eat. Most of the women were the age of my mother, which brought memories of her in Montana. Then she didn't seem so far away. I've never forgotten those women on that Christmas 58 years ago. I only wish I had told them how much it meant to me. This one's on the road Christmas gift. In 1958, I was a first-year high school teacher in Beatty, Nevada. On December 22nd, I headed home to Idaho in my 1951 Hudson to spend Christmas with my parents. Just south of Fillmore, Utah, a radiator hose broke and the car started to overheat. I hitchhiked into Fillmore and got a ride to a Chevron station. I explained my plight to the owner, Dan Brinkerhoff, who sent a tow truck to bring in my car. Dan discovered the engine had become so hot it had warped the head, so he called a nearby wrecking yard and found the needed part. I boarded a Greyhound bus, bought the part, and then caught a return bus to Fillmore. By that time, it was dark, and Dan had closed the station. He immediately went to work on my car, laboring for several hours while I slept, curled up in the back seat. Finally, he woke me and announced that I was ready to go. When I went to settle up, he would not take a dime for anything he had done. I was able to spend the holidays with my parents, and I shall forever remember Dan for the wonderful thing he did for me. From Glenn Gillette, Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, people are still hanging in. Oh, Lisa J, I missed that. I would love to have seen that. I'll have to rewind. It was yesterday's. I want to see that store she went in. Yeah, Vegas. I like Vegas. Carol, number one. She's still putting in a number just to make sure she's recorded. We're here. Okay, it was great. You're not, I didn't say we were ending. No need to thank me. We're not ending. We got a long way to go. Shelly Ellis. You broke down by Fillmore once, really? Let's stop. Still here too. Baby dough. Wow, this one goes back. A holiday fair. Just before Christmas, around 1919, my foster mother took me and 4 other girls in her charge on a bus ride from East Rutherford, New Jersey to Passaic to see the beautiful Christmas lights and Santa's many helpers. We were the last passengers on the bus ride home and began singing Stille Nacht, Silent Night, and O Tannenbaum in German. When we were ready to disembark, the driver placed his hand atop the coin box and said, "No fare, ma'am." Those kids made my night. I really enjoyed them. Mama, who knew only broken English, swelled with pride over us girls, ages about 5 to 13. And I imagine our little chests swelled as well. After all, we had saved Mama 35 cents, quite a bit of money in those days, from Helen Halker Decker, Waunakee, New Jersey. Somebody give her one of the ankle bracelets. Lisa D bought some at that Italian store. Hotel California. Falling asleep here, but still here. He's being changed to the wall. Yes, you can have a pillow. Never left chapel. I was in the bath and I'm back physically again. Was it yesterday? Yeah, there's lots of snacks. Lisa D brought all kinds of Italian snacks and stuff. Yeah, lots of stuff here, guys. Potty patrol. Yep. You can go to the bathroom. You can do anything you want. You just can't leave. You have to always be here. Yuletide voyage. Let's see I'm making sure that nobody is live, that your eyes have tape on them. Conjugal visits. Yeah, sure. Why not? Newstubers never went live tonight, did they? To drop part 2. I'm waiting. Nope, I didn't think so. What happens if you leave? Well, we'll figure something out. I haven't decided yet. Kinda what? I never noticed if they did, says Sparks. Tom tried to stay away. Feeding the chickens. We'll just do a couple more and then we'll be done.
Be done.
Oh, stop. See, I don't let them leave. Once they get here, they're not allowed to leave. Round up Shorty and come after you. If you leave, she'll ignore you. Release the dolls. How's Carolyn, Jan? A few hours ago, temperature had went down to 99.5. Still very weak. Haven't, can't really stand up. She thinks a lot of it is anemia and that time of the month, and she will get an infusion at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And she's taking medicine that they gave her. Jimmy's taking good care of her. She's having fluids. I told her to drink some soup. Tickle ticket. It's getting cold, y'all. I don't have super chats. Read as long as you want, Scooter. I can get them now, though. Carolyn's going to help me, but you guys don't have to do that. I'll just get a few dollars from that AdSense, and no big deal. But NewsTuber says I'm doing it, because I don't know what she said, but no creepy doll song. Here we go. You old tide voyage launched sweet memories. A holiday homecoming is vivid in my memory as my best ever Christmas present. It was a snowy December in 1963, and we 17s were eager to leave our mainland school and enjoy Christmas break with our families. We came from an island in Northumberland Strait, and our only way to get home in winter was a mail plane with seating for the pilot and one passenger. There were just two of us left to transport when a blizzard bulletin was issued. My eyes welled up with tears as I watched the plane being covered with a tarp. We would not be going home after all. Somehow, the word of our plight reached the island, and arrangements were made to drive us to Caribou Wharf. It was nearly dark when we saw a small boat approach, manned by my dad and one of his friends, dressed in oilskins and hip boots. As our two rescuers maneuvered the boat through the gale, we passengers huddled in the bow. After 7 miles and 2 hours on the water, we were spotted by an islander with binoculars. The call went out. They made it home safe. That night, the entire community turned out for the annual Christmas concert. Listening to the sweet carols, I was grateful for the love and courage of my island family and for the gift of being home for the holidays. By Rose DeWolf, Dartmouth, NS. I don't know what that is. NS. I do need to give him a bath. I put him back in the bedroom right now. Hi, Sharon Chow. I'm honored that you're here. Thank you for coming. Yeah, some of them do, Amy. Some do. Some don't. 105 here. Please at least keep putting a number in. That way I know you're still here present. And I want to be able to look up your chat name, find out who you are, and be able to dox you. Okay, we read that one. Is anybody here from Texas? Okay, we have numbers. Good. Hyson Pepper Corp. Yeah. I always wondered what they were saying. I knew it was Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassan Pep Incorporated. I did think it was that. That's just to keep track of you, Teresa Lilly. Newstubers did find me out last night. They announced, and they're right, I'm a 66-year-old doxer who likes to dox people. Okay, good night, Earthbound Spirit. Texan here? Okay, we'll read this Texas story. Okay? Peg B? Inmate numbers? Okay, a West Texas Christmas. Here's a picture. And they have a baseball here signed by Babe Ruth. I need Carolyn here to tell me up, down, around. LaGrange, Texas. Oh, Ravens in Texas sometimes. Okay, here we go. The winter wind whistled across the West Texas plains. Tumbleweeds drifted into our barbed wire fence, and laundry froze stiff on the line. Gotta get my drink. Christmas 1944 was just days away, and I hoped a deep snow would come with it. One morning, my brother Bobby and I stepped outside and watched a battered truck pull up beside the rundown house down the road. Kids piled out and scattered across the yard, moving too fast to count. After lunch, I heard someone in the backyard. It was one of the new kids, and he was on my red scooter. I tried to be nice because I knew Mother was watching me, but I didn't want him on that scooter. The boy's name was Herbert, and he wanted to know if we had anything else to play with. Bobby picked up a baseball and asked if he wanted to play catch. Herbert threw down my scooter, and I escaped down the road with it, where I had a not-so-nice discussion about the new kids with our neighbors, Patsy and Jane Palmer. On top of that, we didn't have a Christmas tree yet, and Mother told us we weren't going to my grandparents this year. My father had only one day off, and we didn't have enough time or money for the trip. No family at Christmas. No grandmother to hug me and fix my favorite food. No granddaddy to dance his jig and make us laugh. No aunts, uncles, or cousins. It would be the first Christmas I could remember without family. I wanted to cry. The howling wind made it worse. The next day, Herbert and two of his brothers were playing in our yard again. Mother made sugar cookies and handed them out at the kitchen door to us. Those boys gobbled them down as if they'd never eaten cookies before. While we sat on the doorstep, I mentioned that Santa was coming on Saturday. Herbert munched his cookie and matter-of-factly told us Santa had never been to his house. I felt so terrible I didn't know what to say. At supper, I told Mother what Herbert had said. She looked at my dad, and I saw the sadness in her eyes. My father told us Santa might have had trouble finding Herbert's family because they probably moved a lot. The next morning, Mother rushed off to see Mrs. Phillips and Mrs. Palmer. They were planning something. When Daddy got home, Mother told us we were going to help Herbert's family. It had to be a secret. We couldn't talk about it at all, not even with our friends. We had no money to buy gifts, So Mother asked us to make or find something to give the children. The Phillips and Palmer families would do the same. We didn't have many store-bought gifts. Bobby had a slingshot, but the rubber band was broken. I had an old rubber Betsy Wetsy. I hated that doll, and I didn't think the new neighbors would like her any better than I did. I wanted to give them something special that they'd really love. That night, my mind churned as I tried to think of the perfect gift. When I came up with an idea, I really wished I hadn't. I liked my scooter better than anything I had. It wasn't new when I got it, but I thought it was the best scooter in the world because Aunt Winnie had given it to me. I tossed and turned, trying to make up my mind. The next morning, I told my parents that I wanted to give Herbert my scooter. They looked surprised. Are you sure? My father asked. I was. Daddy suggested I painted a new color, so Herbert wouldn't recognize it. That night, Daddy brought home a paper sack with a small can of pretty blue paint and a little bell for the handlebars. Mother put newspapers on the kitchen floor, and Bobby and I painted the scooter. This one's sweet, isn't it? Who's leaving? Wi-Fi cut out, going to bed. We'll leave you streaming, listen to you read. Carol Boyce. That sounds suspicious, but okay. I'll be calling your cable company in the morning. Find out what time it went out. Then Bobby got his baseball from his bedroom and wrote Babe Ruth on it in a black crayon, so Herbert wouldn't know it had been his. It must have been as hard for him to give up that beat up ball as it was for me to give away my scooter. He and J.C. Phillips played a lot of catch. The lump in my throat was so big that I could hardly swallow. I wanted to hug Bobby, which is what Mother did, but I figured he'd kick me in the shin. On Christmas Eve, Daddy brought home our tree, a blue spruce from the nursery where he worked. After supper, we walked down to the Palmers with our gifts for Herbert's family. The Phillips family was already there. It was like a grand, happy party. Mrs. Palmer made punch, and Mother and Mrs. Phillip brought fudge and cookies. As we walked home, a million stars twinkled in the clear black sky. The Christmas star seemed to shine right down upon us. We walked quietly, holding hands. I felt like my heart would explode with love and happiness. I started singing, "O Holy Night," and the family joined in. We sang the rest of the way home. Daddy was reading the Christmas story from the Bible when we heard a car pull up. Who could be visiting us this late on Christmas Eve? We couldn't believe our eyes. Aunt Frances, Uncle Rainey and their children, Judy and little Rainey, had driven from California to surprise us. Mother fried the hen she'd planned for Christmas dinner. We decorated the tree, sang carols, and hung up our socks. Overnight, we got about a foot of snow. Big flakes were still fluttering down when I went out to help Daddy feed the dogs. I could hear kids talking. Daddy and I sneaked over to where we could see Herbert's porch without him seeing us. Herbert was yelling, "He came! He came!" I blinked back tears. Daddy took my hand and we walked back to our full little house. I've often wondered if Herbert and his family weren't really angels sent down to help us understand the joy of giving and the spirit of Christmas. Our gifts were small, but the Lord poured out his blessings in a way I'll never forget. From Claudia Grisham, Spring, Texas. Oh, I like that one. Right? Isn't it right? Isn't it good, Carol? No, I'm not seeing anything. Good story. I'm going to read. I'm going for 3 hours. We're at 2 hours and 35 minutes. We're going to go for 3, guys. What do you mean, the Bryan Clan? An extra in your own movie? You're welcome, Raven. Yeah, we're going to read. We're going to go for 3 hours, girl. Okay, good, Nancy. Oh, no, says Debbie. Oh, wow. I'll show you. You guys we've seen some of these pictures. This one here on the bottom, the black and white one. This is the town where Dave had a surgery. West Lafayette, actually. It says Christmas is giving, the old saying goes, and it was the reason for this 1936 gathering. The Depression was in full swing, so the Journal Courier, and I've read that newspaper down there, in Lafayette, Indiana, invited needy families to a Christmas party. Newspaper representatives felt the true spirit of Christmas as they passed out toys to eager boys and girls. Wow, look at this. Look at all those people, all those gifts. Yes, Angelina, you can get one for work. That's a lot of people there, isn't it? Okay, I know we read that one. Okay. Rooted in love. You're welcome, Angelina. Thank you for coming. I know, right, Sharon Chow? Seeing the kids, how excited they are Christmas. Let me grab another water. Wonder if our little patient is sleeping. I had to do things. My cat is watching. Okay, that counts. Aw, Kojak. I like that name. Yeah, intermission if you want to run to the bathroom or anything. Garnet's right behind this laptop laying here. She's right here. Now she's sitting up as soon as I said her name. Lay back down, baby. It's okay. Lay back down. There she is. She's laying back down. She's looking at me, though. Dorothy supporting the storms, surviving the storms, is having, I think, what is it, an animal? You send in pictures or videos of your animals and maybe like a little story. Oh, I drink them all the time, Teresa Lily. It's all I ever drink. This, though, is just the sparkling water. And I don't go with any certain brand other than whatever's on sale. Yeah, I've had all kinds, I love bubbly and LaCroix or LaCroix. Harry Johns. Bark what does that mean? I don't understand that. Bark Tech. Is that a bot or something? Yeah, they are. There's all kinds of flavors. This one's lemon lime. They're all unsweetened. They're really good. I really like them. A bot. That's what I think those are, right? Hi, Nancy Rolfe. Too scared to sneak out right now. It isn't anymore, Lucy J. What, Felicia Lewis? What? I'm so sorry, Felicia. Prayers to you, hon. Hey, Sassy Darcy. I always get nervous when she comes in. I really like her a lot. I love her. But I always get nervous, like she's going to say, hey, let's do that. Hey, come on. Let's do this. Yes, prayers for you. Prayers. It's horrible. Wow. Horrible. I am the boss. That's right. I am not afraid of Sassy Darcy. I am not. Last I heard, fever was down, weak. She thinks it's more anemia from her anemia in that time of the month. She's not having trouble breathing or anything. She said she just feels bad all the way down to her bones. She'll get the infusion in the morning. So we have a few more minutes. We're going for 3 hours. We're at 2 hours, 43 minutes. Yes, we're all praying for you. Intermission therapy. Let's see, did we read this one? Pining for the perfect tree. Because of my father's poor health during World War II, our family, pictured below, moved from a tenant farm in the Virginia hills to the city of Harrisonburg so my mother could work in a silk mill making parachutes for the soldiers overseas. On Christmas Eve, I felt lonely and misplaced as I listened to the strange city noises, so different from the familiar sounds on the countryside. To my dismay, the family had been so busy moving that we didn't have a tree to decorate. As a 5-year-old, I yearned for a real tree. My older brothers had always enjoyed selecting a cedar or pine from the nearby woods when we lived on the farm. My brother Gary sensed that something was bothering me and asked, "What's the matter, Janie? Why are you so sad?" "We don't have a tree, and it's Christmas Eve," I told him. Where will Santa leave our presents? To soothe my nostalgic tears, my older brother found a large paper sack upon which he drew a beautiful green Christmas tree with big red and blue bulbs and bright yellow tinsel. This will have to do this year, Gary told me. I'm sure Santa will understand. The next morning, I received a tiny toy phone from Santa and homemade popcorn balls from Mother and Daddy. But my special gift was my brother's work of love, the paper tree hanging on the wall from Jane Allen, Arab, Alabama. You're welcome, Davita. Carol. How funny. That one was cute too, though, wasn't it? That little boy drawing a tree for his sister, hanging it on the wall. Governor just granted. Branching out. In 1956, I heard my father say that he couldn't afford a Christmas tree. He offered the man at the lot $10 for a tree. The man said he would throw a tree into the river before he would sell it for that little. Taking this in, my mother promised the kids will have a tree. The next day, I saw her go out into the yard with a steak knife in the stinging cold, wind whipping in her hair as she cut the branches off a peach tree. When she came in, I can see this being you, Davita. You or Sassy Darcy. You two are the ones I can see. Probably all of us would, though. She saw her go in the yard with a steak knife in the stinging cold, wind whipping in her hair as she cut the branches off a peach tree. When she came in, she placed the branches in a vase, tucked a small towel in the vase to steady the branches, and then put an old cotton tree skirt with glitter on it around the vase. She placed this on an end table and wrapped chimney paper around the legs on the table. Next, she draped Red Cross cotton on the branches to make it look like snow. Then she strung blue lights on the tree along. Then she strung blue lights on the tree along and added ornaments and mounds of tinsel. When she finished and turned on the lights, the branch tree was beautiful in a magical way. That Christmas, my father got a huge industrial drum of all kinds of used toys in good condition from the Salvation Army and poured them out under the blue lights of the branch tree. It truly was a Christmas to remember. From Barbara March, Cheyenne, Wyoming. A treat for the holidays. I took my first teaching job in 1959 in a working class neighborhood in Ludlow, Massachusetts. As the holidays approached, our principal announced that the Lions Club would donate a Christmas tree to each classroom. One morning, a man brought a scrawny little tree to our room. It was already dropping needles, but like the students in this photo, my kids looked at it in awe, as many of them did not have a Christmas tree at home. We decided to decorate our shabby little sapling with handmade ornaments, cotton balls and lights. There were shouts of glee when it was finished. Our little tree glowed and shimmered as if transformed by magic. From Patricia Carley, Mount Dora, Florida. Aw. These little kids do look so excited. Okay, 10 more minutes. This one is Magical Holiday Moments, Chapter 4. Oh, how cute. Look at the picture there, the little boy. I guess that's Santa's footprints. The little kid must be looking at right there at the fireplace. Wait. Why doesn't it? You guys can see that, right? And then look at this, how cute. Grandpa with a little baby. And the puppy. Hi, Deidre Realty. Oh, I'm glad you like them, Deidre. I tried to whisper to me. Oh, look at these with the pets, guys. Oh, oh, I love this one, even though it's black and white. That little guy. Look at that. Oh, Napanee, Indiana, the little girl on the bottom with that fireplace and the little boy. Napanee. And that's where all the Amish people are down there, and they have the restaurant and everything. Just thinking. I think those are bots, guys. Probably need, yeah, thank you, whisper to me. I know, Teresa. Yep, yep. Oh, let's see. Oh, that dog is named Fritzy, pal with paws. Fritzy, the dog below, was a best friend for many years to Charmaine Beatty Burant, pictured at right around age 11 in 1946. This little girl up here. Look at that. Kind of reminds me of
Oh.
Bruiser. How
Yeah.
Bruiser would stand up like that. Here's the little girl. It was her best friend, that little doggy. She's only 11. Didn't kids look older then?
Yeah. Hello, guys. Again.
Davida Esta I don't know what that I can only tell. Yes. Oh, Scarlet O'Hara. Oh,
Oh.
Peanut's going to be going too, guys, to heaven very soon. Okay, truly special delivery. Christmas was running very late for this fifth grade girl, Susan J. Simones, Waukesha, Wisconsin. My favorite Christmas story is the one my mother, Charmaine Beatty Burant, has told long about her fifth grade class in 1945. My mother grew up in Hackettstown, New Jersey. It was a small town filled with post-Civil War Victorian homes with wraparound porches, a town where everyone knew each other and all the kids played together. My mother had particularly fond memories of skating, sledding, and playing in the snow in winter. This is how her story goes. As Christmas drew close, plans were made for the party and gift exchange at school. How difficult it was not to reveal whose name we had drawn from a hat and what sort of gift we had made or purchased for the recipient. The gifts were brought in during the last week before Christmas vacation. Excitement was in the air. We were allowed to look under the tree, which we all took part in decorating, and find out which of the brightly wrapped presents was for whom. On Tuesday, I looked under the tree and spied the present I bought. I searched for the one with my name on it, but it wasn't there. I checked the tree again on Wednesday and Thursday. More and more presents piled up, but nothing had my name on it. Finally, Friday came. It was the day of the party. There must be something there now, I thought. I looked under the tree casually and then frantically, but there was nothing for me. I returned to my desk and sat in despair. Out of 25 children, I was the only one without a present. I tried my best not to cry as the day lingered on. When our class teacher, Mrs. Williams, announced it was time for the party, the other kids cheered. I only hoped that someone had hidden my present. Mrs. Wheeler called out the children's names one by one and handed out the presents, but my name was not called. I sat at my desk in quiet tears while the other kids played with their new trinkets or ate their penny candy. With the party winding down, a knock came at the door. My classmate, David's mother, was standing in the doorway and holding an enormous box. The other children were captivated. She apologized for being late and said she had a special gift for Charmaine Beatty. I stood up in shock. This enormous gift was for me? The children all gathered around me as I stood on tiptoes to open the top of the box. Inside, to my surprise, was a fuzzy brown puppy, so cute, with one ear up and one ear down. I was the hit of the class. I happily walked home in the falling snow with my coat over the box to keep my new puppy warm. Only then did I begin worrying if my folks would let me keep the puppy. I did not know the gift had been prearranged with my parents. I named the puppy Fritzy and loved and played with that dog endlessly. Even after all this time, I remember Fritzy as the best Christmas present ever. He is so darn cute. Well, wouldn't you know, we ended that right on time. How many are here? We dropped. I'll give the chat log. Yes, I'm only teasing Sassy Darcy. Don't get mad. Please, don't be mad. I'm kidding. Hi, ICUERRNK. Anybody ever notice we have so many nurses? I'm here, Summit 118. Okay, 10 seconds, guys. Thank you all for coming so much. I love you all very much. Thank you for coming in and joining it. I hope you liked it. Okay, see you next time. Love yous. Bye.